What's up, everyone? Today I'm bringing to you a Solfachord deck profile. Solfachord is a deck out of Ancient Guardians and surprisingly did really well on my channel. So since it got some new support in Dawn of Majesty, I figured I would update the deck. So without further ado, let's get right into it. First, I run 2 Coolio. Coolio, you can special summon this card from your hand by attributing 2 Pendulum monsters. You can target one face-up card your opponent controls, or up to 2 cards if you have an odd Pendulum scale in your Pendulum zone. Negate its effects until the end of your opponent's turn, and when an effect of a monster on the field is activated with an equal or lower attack than the highest Pendulum scale in your Pendulum zone, you can destroy that monster. So once per turn, it's got a destruction during your opponent's turn, and it can come out pretty easily. Now, one thing you will notice with the Pendulum scales is that they're the higher the level, the lower the scale. So like the level 1 is like a level 8 or 7 scale. I also run the 1 Solfachord YUGIOH. Quick effect, you can target one effect monster your opponent controls, or if you have an even Pendulum scale in your Pendulum zone, you can target one face-up spell trap your opponent controls this turn, banish it when it leaves the field. You can only use the effect of YUGIOH once per turn, and once per turn, at the end of the damage step, if this card battles an opponent's monster with an equal or higher attack than the lowest Pendulum scale in your Pendulum zone, destroy that monster. I run 1 Lost Solfachord. While you have an odd Pendulum scale in your Pendulum zone, if your Solfachord Pendulum monster attacks, your opponent cannot activate spell, trap cards, or effects until the end of the damage step. And during your main phase, you can tribute 1 Solfachord Pendulum monster. If you do, special summon 1 Solfachord Pendulum monster from your deck, whose Pendulum scale is 2 higher or 2 lower than that monster. I also run 3 Solfachord YUGIOH. YUGIOH, while you have an even Pendulum scale in your Pendulum zone, if your Solfachord Pendulum monster attacks, your opponent cannot activate monster effects until the end of the damage step. And if this card is normal special summon, you can add 1 Solfachord spell trap from your deck to your hand. So this is your spell and trap searcher. You're usually going to use it for either the field spell, Harmonia, or Elegance. Next, I run 3 Solfachord Fancio. Fancio, while you have an odd Pendulum scale in your Pendulum zone, if your Solfachord Pendulum monster be destroyed by battle, you can destroy this card instead, and during the main phase, you can add 1 Solfachord Pendulum monster from your deck to your extra deck face up. So this helps build up your extra deck for a Pendulum summon. I also run the 1 Solfachord YUGIOH. While you have an even Pendulum scale on your Pendulum zone, you take no damage from battles involving Solfachord Pendulum monsters, and if this card is normal special summon, you can target 1 spell trap your opponent controls, return to the hand. So this can also help deal with your opponent's spell and traps. Let's say they have, I don't know, there can be only 1, for example. Normal summon YUGIOH, and you can just easily take care of it. I run 3 Solfachord YUGIOH. YUGIOH, while you have an odd Pendulum scale in your Pendulum zone, if a Solfachord Pendulum monster you control will be destroyed by an opponent's card effect, you destroy this card instead of one of those cards, so that's a little bit of protection. And if you control a Solfachord card in your Pendulum zone, you can special summon this card from your hand. YUGIOH, I would say, is one of the better of the Solfachord monsters, mainly because it can special summon itself from the hand, which is really useful because what you want to do is go into a link monster right away. That way you can do more Pendulum summoning. Next, I run the 1 YUGIOH. While you have an even Pendulum scale in your Pendulum zone, Solfachord Pendulum monsters you control gain attack and defense equal to their own Pendulum scale. And if this card is normal special summon, you can add 1 Solfachord Pendulum monster from your deck to your hand. So this is also a searcher. So this deck definitely has a lot of search power, and it is easy to get Pendulum skills in your Pendulum zone. Next, I run the 1 Mythical Beast Master Cerberus, or not 1, 2. The Pendulum scale, if you have no cards in your under the Pendulum zone, you can destroy this card, and if you do, add 1 level 7 or lower Mythical Beast effect monster from your deck to your hand. And each time a spell card is activated, place 2 spell counters on this card when that spell resolves. It cannot be destroyed by card effects while it has 4 or more spell counters on the field. Once per turn, you can remove 4 spell counters from the field, target 1 monster your opponent controls, banish it face up, and if you do, this card gains attack equal to the banished monster's original attack. So not only can it negate a lot of attack, it can just help clear your opponent's board. Also run the 3 Mythical Beast Jackal King. Now, Jackal King I actually like more than Mythical Beast, because every time you activate a spell card, you can place 2 spell counters on this card. And once per turn, when an opponent activates a monster effect, quick effect, you can remove 2 spell counters from the field, negate the activation, and if you do, destroy that card. So you definitely want to get a bunch of spell counters on the field, and since it's basically every time a spell card is activated, not just you, if your opponent activates a spell card too, that still counts. So this is definitely, in my opinion, one of the best Pendulum monsters, because it's just easy to get up to 4. You just have to activate literally just 2 spells, and it's already at 4 counters. I also run 2 Supreme King Dragon Darkworm. Darkworm, if it is normal special summon, you can add 1 Supreme King Gate Pendulum monster from your deck to your hand. And if this card is in your graveyard and you control no monsters, you you special summon this card. So basically, you want to get this in your graveyard to kind of get out your Supreme King Gate 0. Gate 0, the effect really doesn't really kind of matter all too much, but you more so want it for the scale 0. That's it for the monsters. Moving on to the spells. I run 3 Solfachord Elegance. Elephants, you can activate one of the following effects. You can either place one Solfachord Pendulum monster from your deck to in your Pendulum zone, add one Solfachord Pendulum monster from your hand to your extra deck face up, then place 2 Solfachord Pendulum monsters, one odd and one even, Pendulum skills from your deck to your Pendulum zones. 3, add 2 cards, one odd, one even from your Pendulum zones to the extra deck and face up, and if you do, draw 2 cards. So it can be draw power, search power. It has just so many uses, which is what makes it really good. Next, I run the 3 Solfachord Harmonia. Harmonia, like Elegance, it has 3 effects, and you can activate one of the 3 following effects. First, add one face-up Solfachord Pendulum monster from your extra deck to your hand. Increase the Pendulum skill of one Solfachord card in your Pendulum zone level by 1. And if you control Solfachord Pendulum monster with at least 3 different Pendulum skills, or at least 3 different odd Pendulum skills, destroy one card your opponent controls. You mainly want it for the first effect to add a Pendulum skill from your extra deck to your hand. Considering when you're Pendulum summoning, when you Pendulum summon from the extra deck, you are restricted, but from the hand, you are not restricted. I also run 3 Celestial Transformation. Celestial Transformation allows you to special summon one Fairy Tech monster from your hand. The monster's attack is halved and is destroyed during the end phase, which is fine because most oftentimes you're going to just want to link it away into the Grand Solfachord Musacia. I also run 2 Dragon Shrine, mainly to get the Supreme King Dragon Darkworm to the grave. The 1-for-1 because Cutia is a level 1. 1 Foolish Burial for the same reasons as Darkworm. I do run another card from Dawn of Majesty, and that is Pendulum Treasure. You can add 1 Pendulum monster from your deck to your extra deck face up. So it helps with getting the scales into the extra deck. Or not really scales, the Pendulum monsters into the extra deck. And for traps, I just run the 1 Musica. Musica, you can activate one of the effects based on the Pendulum skill of the Solfachord Pendulum monster card you control. Odd, special summon one face-up Solfachord Pendulum monster with an odd Pendulum skill from your extra deck. Even, special summon an even one from your extra deck. Even and odd, target one card your opponent controls, destroy it. So basically you can either special summon one of your monsters, or you can just destroy one card your opponent controls. Both are actually really good. Moving on to the extra deck. And ironically enough, Solfachord was actually the only deck from Ancient Guardians to actually get support in Dawn of Majesty, because Ursarctic and, at least I don't think Ursarctic got any support, but the Ardoidex didn't really get any support. I run 3 of the Grand Solfachord Musacia. During the main phase, you can add 1 Pendulum monster from your hand to the extra deck face up, and 1 face-up Pendulum monster from your extra deck to the hand. So basically, you can kind of swap it around. So let's say you want to send off of Pendulum Treasure, you send you add to your extra deck a Pendulum monster you want. You just use this to literally swap it out and get it into your hand. When you Pendulum summon a Solfachord monster, you can target one of those, add 1 Solfachord Pendulum monster from your deck to your hand, whose level equals the Pendulum scale of that monster. So let's say their scale is 3, then you have to, let's take Dreamia. So if I Pendulum summon Dreamia, then I have to add a level 7, which is pretty cool. Also run 1 Hieratic Sphere. Not Hieratic Sphere, Hieratic Seal of Heavenly Spheres. Since we do run 2 Darkworm, I did in practice actually end up oftentimes having 2 Darkworm on the field at one time. So Hieratic Sphere is basically, in my opinion, one of the best dragon cards that's just generic, because most other dragon cards, or at least the Dragon Link cards, are more for dragon focused decks. Next, I just run more or less just a bunch of good generic cards like IP Masquerena, Phoenix, and Unicorn for a IP package. I run the 1 Star YUGIOH and the 1 Apollosa, as well as an Axis Code Talker and a Mekk-Knight Crusadia Avermax. Now for XYZ monsters, I run an Exoton Knight, a Tornado Dragon, Dugaris, and Abyss Dweller to round out the extra deck. So let me know what's your thought on Solfachord. Do you think it's pretty cool? Do you think the new support out of Dawn of Majesty really helps this deck out a lot? Let me know in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video I make. Bye!